I want you to picture something almost unbelievable. A single man, right? Alone in this dusty, unforgiving landscape in Bihar. He's staring down this sheer cliff face, a place that, well, it had claimed lives.
Mm.
And he has almost nothing. Just a small hammer, a chisel, and this consuming mission.
And he stayed there for over 2 decades.
Yeah, just chipping away at stone, turning this unyielding rock into a pathway.
And this isn't some ancient myth we're talking about.
No, not at all. This was Dashrath Manjhi in the village of Gehlaur. He was keeping this solitary burning promise he'd made.
And that path, well, that promise, it was fueled by something incredibly profound, didn't it? Loss.
Exactly.
Dashrath Manjhi, he's known now forever, really, as the Mountain Man. He came from the Musar community in the Gaya district.
And that's important context, isn't it? The Musahar community.
Absolutely. It's one of the most marginalized Dalit groups in the entire state. Often overlooked, often voiceless.
And his motivation. Heartbreaking. His wife died because getting her urgent medical help meant this treacherous 70-kilometer detour around that very cliff.
Yeah, the mountain was literally blocking the way to life-saving care. So he just decided, I'm going to erase it. Simple as that. Well, not simple in execution, obviously.
Not simple at all, but he did it. He actually succeeded. Chip by chip, he carved a 1-kilometer shortcut right through the mountain range.
It's incredible. Etched into the earth. A life-saving path that slashed the journey to the nearest town from, well, a whole day of hardship to just a quick walk.
He passed away back in 2007, still living in a pretty modest, simple thatched hut, you know. But his work, that path, it endured.
So the physical path itself, it was built on pure devotion, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
But how quickly did that devotion, that symbol, turn into political currency, especially in a place like Bihar?
That's exactly what we're diving into today. This deep dive is all about how the enduring symbol of Dashrath Manjhi has become this high-stakes, really visible flashpoint.
Right in the middle of Bihar's fiercely fought 2025 assembly elections, we're seeing personal grit collide head-on with ruthless national political maneuvering.
So let's start with the physical inheritance. We move from the hammer and chisel to now, to the present day.
Okay.
That rugged trail Dashrath carved, it's now a quiet ribbon of road.
Yeah.
And it leads to something that looks like progress. A modest, 5-room brick house.
A puka house, as they'd call it there.
Right, puka. Which is such a stark contrast to the old kacha hut, the temporary thatched one Manjhi died in.
Yeah, the difference is huge. The old hut was temporary, basic. This new one is permanent, brick, cement. It signifies stability.
And the backstory of this puka home is, well, politically fascinating, isn't it?
It really is. Because just a few months ago, summer of 2025, Congress leader Rahul Gandhi personally funded its construction.
And what's interesting is how quietly it was done, according to the sources. No cameras rolling, no big fanfare, no scripted speeches.
It felt like a private gesture.
Yeah, a genuine moment of respect, maybe.
Perhaps. But that very quietness is precisely what gave the act such significant political resonance. You see?
How so?
Well, it was seen as a direct, targeted nod to the Dalit voices the Congress Party has been actively trying to win back, specifically aiming for the Musahar community, who, as we said, often feel ignored.
So, a strategic move, even if quiet.
You could definitely interpret it that way. And Dashrath's son, Bhagirath Manjhi, he's in his 60s now. He'd welcomed Gandhi years before. After the house was built, he simply said he was very grateful.
It seemed like a moment of connection then, between the family and the party leader.
It did, for a moment.
But as we often see, the currency of gratitude, well, it expires pretty quickly in an election cycle, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. The atmosphere shifted dramatically from that quiet thankfulness to open political negotiation.
And this happened during Gandhi's recent yatra, right? That big march, part of the election buildup.
Exactly. The yatra is high energy, high visibility. And this is where the political machine really starts to rev up.
But what happened?
Bhagirath spoke candidly with Gandhi during that visit. He made a heartfelt request, but it shifted the whole dynamic.
From gratitude to
a specific political transaction. He asked for a Congress ticket to run for a seat in these upcoming polls.
Wow. He actually asked for a ticket. Which seat?
He mentioned Barchati or Bodh Gaya as potential constituencies, places where the family name might carry some weight.
In Gandhi's response.
Reportedly, he gave him the verbal green light.
Go ahead.
Seriously.
Ah.
That seems like, well, on the surface, the perfect narrative coup for Congress.
You'd think so. You've got this potent, living symbol of resilience, the son of the revered mountain man stepping into politics,
Or
representing the very people his father fought for. It writes itself, doesn't it?
it really does. So what went wrong? Why aren't we talking about candidate Bhagirath Manjhi?
Well, it was a compelling story right up until the point of, execution, the follow-through. What happened next was Bhagirath traveling all the way to Delhi. He hunkered down there for 4 long, tense days.
Waiting. Right in the thick of the party's chaotic, pretty brutal candidate selection process. Just waiting for his name to show up on the list.
Okay, wait, let me just jump in here. If the symbolic value of the Manjhi name is so high, the media attention it brings, that's gold, right? Why would Congress risk the PR disaster of rejecting him?
It seems counterintuitive, doesn't it?
Totally. Couldn't they offer something else? A minor state-level ticket, a symbolic committee post, anything to avoid this public, frankly embarrassing snub?
That's where the cold, hard reality of Bihar's coalition politics just overrides everything else, even powerful narratives.
Explain that. What's the cold, hard reality?
If you dissect the move, party insiders basically explained it away as the relentless math of alliances and caste equations. That's the phrase they use.
Relentless math, I think.
Congress is campaigning alongside powerful regional parties, right? The RJD, maybe others. And they have to prioritize their allies' demands for seats over individual symbolic candidates, even one like Bhagirath.
So the seats he wanted, Burachati or Bodh Gaya.
Exactly. In those specific constituencies, Congress likely had to defer to an ally. They have to navigate these deeply entrenched MY, Muslim Yadav alignments that anchor the regional parties. Or maybe concede seats to a key ally whose support is absolutely essential if they want any chance of defeating the dominant BJP coalition.
So securing the alliance seats, keeping the coalition happy, that outweighed the symbolic win of having the mountain man's son on the ticket.
That seems to be the calculus. It's brutal, as you said.
Wow.
The need for that strategic seat share balance just complicated everything. So the result was, when the candidate list finally rolled out in late October 2025, his name just wasn't there.
Conspicuously absent.
Very. And you can imagine the emotional toll. Bhagirath's comment was simple but telling. Rahul Gandhi said he would.
Oof. That stings. It's a painful reminder, isn't it? That even the most powerful symbols can just crumble under the weight of electoral arithmetic.
Politics isn't always about the best story. Often it's just about the numbers.
And the political machine, well, it's not known for its sensitivity, is it? Because what happened immediately after this rejection is just, well, it's almost cinematic.
It really highlights the pressure of the moment, the speed at which things move.
So right after the snub became known,
An unexpected guest arrived. Right there in Gehlaur, along Dashrath's hard-won road, almost immediately.
a guest. Ooh, from Congress, trying to smooth things over.
Nope. Quite the opposite. It was a lawmaker flying the BJP banner, the main opposition.
Get out, really? A BJP lawmaker shows up right after the Congress rejection.
Yes. And what's even more striking is, apparently they weren't even from Bihar. They were flown in from far off Chhattisgarh.
Chhattisgarh. So this was orchestrated from higher up.
It certainly seems that way. The details were kept very quiet, deliberately hushed. It's still unclear exactly who it was, and they slipped away pretty quickly once people started noticing.
But the message, the intent, that rings loud and clear across the state, doesn't it?
Absolutely crystal clear.
This wasn't some casual social call dropping by for tea.
No. This was a precise, high-speed political extraction operation, essentially.
Just swoop them up.
Precisely. A calculated, deliberate outreach. A swift bid to draw Bhagirath Manjhi into the saffron fold, into the BJP camp, right before the vote.
Wow. The timing is just audacious.
It is. And this whole sequence, one party's oversight, maybe a blunder, followed instantly by the other side's dogged, quick pursuit, it paints the most vivid snapshot of how intensely competitive Bihar politics is.
And how transactional it can be.
Deeply transactional. They are fighting for every single symbolic alignment, especially ones that resonate with marginalized communities, because they know the value. They know the votes it might sway.
Which brings us neatly to the wider battlefield. Because this Manjhi family story, compelling as it isn't happening in a vacuum, is it?
Not at all. It's plugged right into the unique dynamics of Bihar's elections.
And Bihar's elections are distinct. They're crucial to the national political map for, well, a key structural reason, right?
Yes. If you connect this to the bigger picture, Bihar is pretty unique in India. Along with maybe Tamil Nadu down south, it's one of the only large states that has successfully resisted direct, single-party rule by a pan-India national party for decades now.
Meaning the BJP or Congress haven't been able to dominate on their own?
Exactly. The ballot battles here are intensely local. They're driven by these powerful regional heavyweights, like the RJD, Rashtriya Janata Dal, and the JDU, Janata Dal United.
And why do these regional players consistently outmuscle the national giants in Bihar? What's their secret sauce?
Well, they've really mastered the art of social engineering, you could say, and coalition building at the very local grassroots level.
Past politics.
Absolutely central. They control these entrenched caste networks and have built incredibly powerful localized vote banks. National parties, often coming in with more generic messaging, really struggle to penetrate those loyalties.
So things like the MY alignment you mentioned.
Exactly. The regional parties have perfected the MY Muslim Yadav combination and various other complex caste alignments. These create almost unshakable local strongholds. It forces national players like Congress and the BJP to rely heavily on alliances.
And maybe pick up smaller symbolic victories where they can.
Precisely. They fight tooth and nail for every micro-community vote, every symbolic alignment like the Manjhi family's story. It becomes incredibly valuable because it potentially helps them access communities outside those main locked-in caste blocks.
Makes sense. Okay, so let's get an update on the timeline for these 2025 elections. Where are we right now?
Right. So the first round of voting for the assembly elections actually wrapped up on November 6th.
And how was the turnout?
Reports suggest record crowds across the board. Over 121 seats were contested in that phase. So high engagement, definitely.
Okay, what's next?
Right now, all eyes are locked on the second phase. That's scheduled for this coming Tuesday, November 11th.
And which region is voting then?
This phase focuses on the eastern Semanchal belt of Bihar, another critical area.
And then the results. When do we know who's won?
The counting, the big day, kicks off on November 14th. So not long to wait now.
It sounds like a highly charged political atmosphere, and this Manjhi family tale really is, as you said, a microcosm of these relentless battles. It shows that every single vote, every symbol, truly matters in the overall balance of power there.
It really does. It demonstrates how even a small village, Gehlaur, brought to fame by one man's incredible act of devotion, can suddenly become absolutely central to the state's political fate. A powerful piece on a very complicated chessboard.
So let's try and bring this full circle. Dashrath Manjhi, the mountain man, he didn't conquer that mountain in one go, did he? It wasn't one heroic swing of the hammer.
Not at all. It was chip by painstaking chip,
Right.
year after year after year, fueled by this solitary vision that, many people probably mocked at the time.
And politics, in a way, mirrors that same exhaustive grind, that persistence.
It does, but with this added element of extreme volatility, doesn't it? Opportunists pounce incredibly quickly, like we saw perhaps with the BJP's move.
While others maybe ponder too long, hesitate.
And miss critical opportunities.
Yeah.
As maybe, arguably, Congress did here.
But whether Bhagirath Manjhi eventually joins the political fray under whichever banner, or if he just stays in Gehlaur, his family's story, it spotlights the real human stakes underneath all the maneuvering, doesn't it?
Absolutely. That desire to uplift voices from the margins, to secure representation for communities that feel left behind, that's the core of it.
And that path Dashrath carved, it will always symbolize something much bigger than just the road itself. It's about the power of resilience, isn't it?
It truly is. But it also leaves us with a pretty provocative question, I think. Something for you, the listener, to chew on.
Go on.
If a physical path, carved literally by decades of devotion and sacrifice, can be so instantly converted, maybe even misused, traded, all for the potential price of a single assembly seat in some complex coalition calculation. It forces us to ask, what price do we as a society actually place on genuine grassroots resilience when it enters the ruthless transactional marketplace of electoral politics? Is that symbol respected or just exploited?
That's a heavy thought. The true measure of political maneuvering versus real human achievement.
Exactly. Something to think about long after the election results are in.